We're here today to allow me to send a message to the lieutenants of the MEF. We had hoped to do this in person by camp and share some experiences of 30 years, person to person, but because of the current context, here we are. So as I look back at 30 years worth of service, the funnest, best years were those as a lieutenant. A lot of rewarding experiences along the way. Promotions were always great, all those kind of things. But the funnest times for me were as a lieutenant. And that's where you actually fall in love with this thing called the Marine Corps. I know that love word, that's kind of hard for some to embrace, but it truly is at the heart of what it is we do here. And you have to love the Marine Corps. You have to love the Marines, or it's just gonna wear you down. And a big part of why I'm here today is two things: that sense of purpose, and then the Marines you just fall in love with along the way. You as lieutenants you got to have two things in your life. You got to have one good lieutenant who's going to carry you along and show you the ropes. But more importantly, you've got to find that staff NCO that can bring you along, because there's just nothing like a good staff NCO that understands that, sir, you can go play golf every day if I do my job kind of role. You've got to find that guy and then hitch yourself to him. And that's all you need as a lieutenant. You're going to be successful if you can get those two pieces in place. When I was a brand new second lieutenant, I'm on that float in 1991 with 26 MEF. I was filling the role of the collateral duty I had as an armory officer. And I had a fairly seasoned staff sergeant who I relied upon to a fault. And he set me up one morning. I had a very sharp battery commander who called me to his stateroom one morning and said, "Hey, can you bring me the site count? I just want to see the site count from this morning's count in the armory." So, good lieutenant, I go to the armory, get the staff sergeant, get the site count, take him a copy, and still just, young pup, not realizing, okay, there's blood in the water here. You just don't even know that it's yours yet. And he says, so holds a sheet of paper, says, "So we got all the weapons?" "Yes, sir, everything's accounted for." "Really?" And he reaches behind his desk and he pulls out an M16. And my heart just dropped. I didn't know what being fired or getting relieved meant, but I just knew I was probably about to experience it. And he just kind of shoved it at me and said, "Fix it." But little things in that you're going to have to learn how to do is there's going to be moments where you have to hold people accountable. That's a good one to learn at an early age, is no matter who you're working with, sit down with them and talk to, here's what I expect. And you may have to revisit that a few times. That whole mantra that we always talk about of trust but verify, you got to set expectations first. And that's on us as officers. So that's a good one. And it was one that I learned also. If you will take the time to counsel Marines, I've never seen a Marine who didn't want that counseling. I've never seen a Marine who didn't welcome you honestly tell him how he's performing. I had a staff sergeant in Afghanistan, and he was stumbling a little bit in the way he was performing, and I just sat down and wrote up a bunch of notes for him. Here's some strengths I see in you. Here's some things we got to work on, and here's why. And kind of reset our whole relationship. Unfortunately, that's common in our Marine Corps. We don't take the time to just write it down. It doesn't have to be a nice glossy format or anything. Just open up a Word doc and just type it out in candor. And then just deliver it, with passion and with respect for them. I've never seen a Marine who wouldn't respond to that. A lot of the officers don't understand these days is that you've got to invest yourself wholly, and that means giving up your time. It means spending a lot of time with Marines. It means doing it face-to-face, knee-to-knee, not virtually, not texting your platoon sergeant, walking over and talking to him, spending time with him, getting to know him. What's his family like? How is the family situation? Your Marine's finances, things like that. You've got to understand these things because they aren't all coming from the same upbringing that you are. They don't all have the same opportunities you've had, and they still need some parenting. And they will absolutely love you for taking the time to just ask them a question or two about how's it going? How's things at home? How's things in the barracks? What do you think of your squad leader? Here's one I wish somebody had told me at an early age. It took me years to figure this out. But if you, as a young lieutenant, walk across the passageway to Sergeant Major Marquez, who's been in the Marine Corps 30 years, and ask him for any bit of advice, he will stay here until the wee hours of the morning, talking to you, sharing with you, mentoring you. Your senior staff NCOs are someone you should look to embrace and ask the advice of. Your staff NCOs today are ready to help you. So I would ask every lieutenant, seek out your battalion, your squadron, sergeant major, and just speak to them and just tell them, hey, do you have a few minutes just to talk about, what you would offer a young officer who is a new leader. I'm trying to understand my Marines and my staff sergeant, and I just want to get better. They will never pass up that opportunity. They are hungry for that opportunity. I just offer that to you. I wish somebody had told me that years and years ago. But I hope, you lieutenants can get out of this. And what I hope to convey to all of you personally, and I apologize that we can't do that, but what I want to just say to you is I want you to drain every ounce of this moment. I want you to get everything you can out of it because these are the absolute best years and you're right in the heart of it. So just jump in and enjoy it. It is an absolute joy to be in a position as a young officer to lead Marines. And there is no funner time in my career. I just envy the opportunity. I wish I could do it all over again, but I'll live vicariously through you guys. And I would welcome anyone who would like to reach out and talk to me and who needs a little mentorship. I'll give you everything I've got. So thank you.